So we're back in action tomorrow against Blackpool, a 5:30 kick-off. And it's the FA Cup this time around, the competition that we have done extremely well in over the last few years and over the last 15, 20 years, I suppose. Won it 7 times under the previous manager, which is a record for one manager. And we are 13 titles in this competition. 13 times we have won this competition, which is also a record. Last year, we all know that we got absolutely pants pulled down away to Nottingham Forest, where the previous manager decided, whilst being the current holders of the competition, nah, fuck it, let's just play a load of kids and let's not have anyone of any note on the bench. I was at that game and it was fucking atrocious. I must admit, that was bad. Literally, not one player covered themselves in glory that day. Not one of them youth teamers wanted it. And Nottingham Forest fully deserved to beat us that day. They scored a couple of good goals as well in that game. One of them was a 20-yard volley straight in the top corner. And yeah, we left their ground fuming, to be honest with you. Now, we've actually got a manager now that I don't think will do that. And I was shocked that the previous manager did that, considering that the competition itself has saved him his job for quite a few years. So I was quite hurt by that, to be honest with you. And I do love the FA Cup, obviously being nearly 37 years old. I've got great memories of this competition growing up. The road to Wembley, it used to be a whole day thing up on the TV. But over the years, it's been disregarded as just some tin pot competition. And I could do a whole 5-hour video on why that is and how angry I get over that. But I'll save that for another day when I'm bored. Onto this game itself, obviously we've got Blackpool. They're up and down like a whore's knickers, to be honest with you. One week they're good and they get a result. The next week they're shit, then they're good again, then they're shit. They lost their last game and they're languishing sort of mid-table-ish in League One. Now, I don't see this being any issue, and like I've said, I think our manager now, Unai Emery, we've already seen that he's put out Lacazette against Qarabag when we'd already qualified, top of the group. And we've seen him put out pretty strong teams. We've substituted on some of our bigger players in lesser games this season and started with some of our bigger players in lesser games. That's no discredit or doing any disservice to Blackpool. But I do think that, you know, obviously we're the bigger club. We're the one steeped in tradition in this competition. And I fully expect us to take it and take it seriously and actually go into this game with some of our better players. Now, I do want to see some of the youth team players start. So with that in mind, I am going to get into my 1 to 11. Before I do that, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. I'm well over 2,000 subscribers now, and I started the channel 6 weeks ago yesterday. So I just want to say a massive, massive respect to every single one of you that has subscribed to me already. Obviously, a lot of you subscribed to my previous channel, where that was on 11,000 subs at one stage. So yeah, thanks very much. I really appreciate it. Here's my 1 to 11. I'm going to go with Petr Cech in goal. A lot of people are calling for him to start in league games in goal. I'm not quite sure about that one yet, but for this game, that is my goalkeeper. Now, I'm going to go with a back 4 for this game, and I'm going to go with the club mascot, Carl Jenkinson. This guy's getting paid to sit around doing nothing, so I think we should give him a game, make him earn his 45 grand a week. Then again, knowing Jenkinson, he'll get an injury and he'll still be here for another 6 months. Jesus Christ, this guy. Anyway, next to him, I'm going to go with Koscielny. I actually thought he'd done rather well the other night. I thought he played pretty well against Fulham. And yeah, I'm playing him for this game. It should be a walk in the park for somebody with as much experience as him. Now, next to him, I'm going to put the young boy Medley. I want to see this geezer get a chance. I want to see him come through. And hopefully, like I said, with all the experience that Koscielny's got, he can guide him through this game. And that is my centre-back pairing. And hopefully that is solid enough to keep out the likes of Blackpool. Now, on to left-back. I haven't heard that he's not fit. I'm hearing that he's been training. I haven't actually checked that out myself, I must admit. So I'm sure you guys have put me right if I have got that wrong. But I'm going to go with Nacho Monreal. I think we've missed him slightly defensively. Kolasinac, for as good as he is going forward, he can't defend. So yeah, we're going to need Monreal back if we're going to try and mount a challenge for this top 4 spot. So let's give him a game. Let's get him back up to match fitness. And yeah, that's my back 4 for the game. Now, into midfield. This is where it gets a bit interesting. Lucas Torreira is 1 booking away from a suspension, as we well know. So I'm pretty sure, I may be wrong again here, and I'm sure you'll put me right, but I'm pretty sure if he gets a booking in this game, he would then miss the West Ham game, because I think it carries over for domestic competitions. So he ain't getting in my team. I ain't even putting him on the bench. I'll give him a day off, have the weekend off, go and chill with your family, mate. I'm actually going to play El Neni. I actually thought he done pretty well the other week when he played. Nothing spectacular, but he's not a spectacular kind of player. So yeah, El Neni can earn his wages this week. Now next to him, I'm actually going to put this kid in his rightful position. He's not going left back. He's not going right back. He is going in midfield, and that is Maitland-Niles. That is his position. That's where I want to see him play. Yes, he's been good playing on the right wing and right back and left back, but let's be real. When you're playing up against the elite teams, like we did against Liverpool, he was one of our better players that night, but defensively he was... And there's been other games where he's played at right back and he's just been atrocious. So let's not ruin this kid, and let's not kill his confidence, and let's play him in his right position for a change. And this is the perfect test for him, I think. It's an easier game. It's not up against a Premier League team, and it should be a game that if he does play there, he will dominate. So that is my pairing in midfield. Now I'm going to go with a 3 behind 1 striker. On the right-hand side, I'm going to put Iwobi in. I don't know why people get on this kid's back. I see people getting on his case the other day after he played against Fulham. It's like, really? What game do you watch? Because he was our best player in the first half. Yes, he faded second half, but I think that was more down to the fact that every time he misplaced a pass, our fans just jeered him. Get off his case. He's a kid. He's 22 and he's come through the youth system. So let's give him a bit of support. So that's my right winger. Left winger, I'm going to go with Saka, another Nigerian winger. This time on the left-hand side, 17 years old, came on for his debut for the Premier League on Saturday, Sunday, I've lost track of days, but it was against Fulham. Didn't really have too much time on the pitch to shine or do anything spectacular, but he did do very well against Karabag. Man of the match for me in that game. So let's see what he can do against Blackpool. Now, playing just off of the striker, I'm going to go with Emile Smith-Rowe. He trained. I've seen the pictures of him training, so I definitely know he's trained. And this kid's a talent. I want to see him on the pitch. Every time he plays a game, he affects the game. He either scores, sets something up. And it's just a joy to watch for somebody so young. He's just taken to the football like, you know, for stepping into Arsenal was like a duck to water. So if he's fit and raring to go, let's start him. Now in front of him, this is where I'm going to get a bit controversial, because a lot of people are expecting me to pick Eddie Nketiah. I'm not doing that. As much as I like Eddie, I want us to get the game wrapped up early so then we can make a treble substitution or 3 in the second half at some point. I'm going with Lacazette. Lacazette's not had much game time recently compared to Aubameyang. He scored at the weekend. Let's get him in the starting 11 for this game. Let's get him a couple of goals, get him off the pitch, confidence flowing, bagged a couple of goals, we win the game, and then he's ready and raring to go for West Ham. That's my 1 to 11. Let me know what you guys would do. Obviously, as you can see, there's a bit of mixture of youth and experience in there. I'd have some of the bigger guys, the big named players on the bench in case it does go sideways, and then we can bring a few of them on. But yeah, let me know what you would do differently. Would you play Lacazette? Would you play Emile Smith-Rowe? Would you risk that straight away? Would you play El Neni? That's controversial. What about Jenkinson, the club mascot? Let me know. Stick it all down there. Before I go, I have a announcement to make. Obviously, I've set this channel up. It's doing very well at the moment. But I am now going down the road of Patreon. Now, Patreon, as some of you probably know, you make a donation of a set fee to the channel, to the Patreon page, I should say, every single month for certain content. Now, I'm going to go down that road of doing that as well. I'll be doing a Q&A monthly on my Patreon page. That'll be with Chris from Gooner Eagle Eye. Go check out his YouTube as well. Subscribe to that. And I will also be doing a monthly Arsenal review. So that'll be reviewing the previous month's games, players' performances, and the highs and lows of the previous month. Now that content will be attached to a fee. There is a fee for that. The fee's $5. You don't have to subscribe to that. That's up to you. You know, if you want to and you enjoy my content and you want to see a little bit of extra stuff, then feel free to go and make a pledge to that. The link will be in the description of this video. If you don't, you don't, it's cool. I'm still doing previews and reviews on this channel anyway. But if you want to see a little bit of extra content, then feel free to go over to Patreon by clicking the link in the description and making your $5 pledge. That'll be a monthly fee, like I said, and that gets you a couple of extra items. Going forward, that will expand. That'll go onto more things, bigger and better things. It'll also go towards better equipment, because obviously I do all of this off my iPhone at the moment, and I ain't got £2 to go and lay out for a MacBook. So that will help the channel grow as well, because obviously at the same time, editing on an iPhone is null and void, and on a MacBook you can do so much more. It'll also pay for space to go and film certain things for the Patreon page. So go and check that out if you want to. If you don't, you don't, that's cool. Anyway, like I said, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate every single one of you that has so far. I'm out of here. Before I go, I'm going to give you my score prediction for the game. I'm going to go with Blackpool 1, Arsenal 3. I'm going with Lacazette first goal. Laters, peeps.